Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Link for Growth TV show. As usual, we have a packed show for you. We have the full team back, fingers crossed. Neal's got one or two technical issues, which hopefully will be resolved by the time he's ready to talk about the sport. Tania is talking about the local news. Catherine's going to be talking about local charity news and events. And Chris is out and about on the streets of Watford. We decided he was very good last week, so he could come out again this week. And we have a special guest who is Fiona Flaherty, who is talking about a new Link for Growth TV program connected with public health. As usual, you can contact us on Link for Growth SW Herts TV. That's Twitter feed is at L4G SW Herts, and we will get back to any comments that you may post. And hopefully you'll find it entertaining, and if you want us to cover any issues, get in touch with us on that email address. In my running order here it says Neal intro. Well, Neal isn't around for all we are, but as I said, but what Neal is going to be talking about later, assuming he can join us, is about the previewing the Arsenal game. He's going to be talking about one or two issues. And then Tania and Neal are going to be talking about psychology in football, because the leading Watford player, Troy Deeney, has talked about this in the article appears in this week's Watford Observer. And Tania is, you may or may not know, a psychotherapist. So it's a really interesting, she's got a really interesting take on this sort of thing. So, Catherine, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be telling us about, please.
Yes, I'm going to have all the charity news. We've got news from Cancer Research. We've got news about fundraisers for Diabetes UK. We've got news about Michael Green Foundation, and news locally about Applefest, and also Watford Job Fair, all coming up shortly.
Okay, that's great. And Tania, you've got lots of local news.
I have, absolutely, Diane. I've got heaps of local news, stuff about buildings of the future, sustainable buildings of the future. Boiling up your unwanted kettles into completely new plastic items. Really recycling well, and really, really interesting and useful news for people to help reduce their heating bills, and a great service to help them to do that. Consultations from the councils on garden waste collections, on boundary issues, which we've mentioned before, and an update on that. And there's a new coffee shop in Radlett and a fantastic Halloween event in Cassebury Park next Friday night.
Okay, that sounds really very good. And Chris, as I said, we've allowed you out and about in the streets of Watford. Where are you this week?
Yeah, I'm on the streets of Watford, actually. Yeah, I've got a guest here. Look at this. Who's this guest?
Tania!
We're having a party. We're having a party, Danny. Lots of eye contact. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. And do you know what's really good is he's about to do an interview with Harry and Radisson and Rachel, and I'm actually doing my event here on the 29th of November. So they've said to me, you need to go and meet this guy who's coming, he's doing some social media around it. And I was like, apparently the only guy you need to speak to is a guy called Chris Ogle. And it's the funniest thing, because Harry goes, he's coming in half an hour. I was like, no way, that is just outrageous. This is the connection of Watford. How amazing is this? So you're going to ask his, I've told him to brief you about the 29th of November.
Okay. Oh, well, you've just done it.
Yeah, but Tanya's not going to be there. Sadly, no. She's already said no.
29th of November. What day's that? That's
Sunday.
Is that November, is it, or October? Oh.
It's November. The day there's a march on, that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
But Neal said that he'll direct people after the march.
Oh, well, okay.
Straight in.
Oh, yeah, it's that climate change march.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, all the updates right live here, by
Yeah.
the way.
Okay.
Anyway, I might we're delaying the show now. Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit, all right? Okay. So, what was I doing?
We're going to do a quick intro, but I think someone else has done it better for you.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Attico, as she just said there, and in fact I did go in earlier, and what happened was the guy I spoke to said, well, someone was here a minute ago talking about you, Chris Ogle. What's that all about then? Who are you again? So it was this bizarre conversation, and it must have been this lady. What was her name, Tania?
Sorry, unmute me. That's Samina Ali.
Samina Ali, there you go. So an impromptu interview with Samina Ali. I'm going to do 2 interviews today. We've just had one of them.
So that makes 3 then today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So am I doing anything else today, Diane? I don't know. Or am I sort of let off the leash as soon as I've done this interview?
No, you're going to be commenting on various bits and talking about the OMG at the end.
Oh, okay, fabulous. So I'll have a look at the running order, but I'm on there talking about Croxley book thing again, which I did last week, so I'm sure that's incorrect. But never mind.
Probably.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not important.
Right, okay. Fiona, restore some order to this madhouse, please. And perhaps you could very briefly tell us about your TV show and what it's all about, and of course we'll talk more later.
Lovely, thank you very much for the welcome. Am I coming through loud and clear?
You are.
Excellent. I've actually got the company today of 2 of our 4 cats, so we may actually be joined by Cats Chorus, so you never know. Public health, quite a big topic, lots and lots of it in the news. Everybody thinks it's about the NHS, but it's actually much, much broader. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
And that's what your TV show explores, isn't it?
Our TV show will be about, exactly.
Okay, that's great. Well, as usual, we have a quick summary of some of the Link for Growth events in the past week or so. So last Saturday we had coffee down at the market as usual, and then on Monday we had coffee at Reason. Tuesday, instead of coffee, we had drinks in Rickmansworth. But Chris, there was a meeting, kind of a pre-meeting to the Link for Drinks meeting that you went to. That's quite exciting news about what's going to be happening for Link for Growth in Rickmansworth.
Indeed. So there were 2 pre-meetings. There's a pre-meeting and a pre-meeting, and then the meeting. So it's an interesting afternoon. But the pre-meeting was to teach Patrick, who's now the manager of the Fox and Hounds, and a previous interviewee on this show. So he's now up to speed and can update things that are going on in Rickmansworth on the community, on the communities and the community website for South West Herts. So that was good, and that went really smoothly. And then afterwards, at 5:30, he's basically started a small group which involves I'm just getting invaded by birds here. He started a small group of local business people in the high street who are kind of collectively getting together to see what they can do to improve Rickmansworth, which is very Link-for-esque. And basically he's really interested in introducing the community Kickstarter initiative over in Rickmansworth, which is fantastic news. So we've kind of got now a little core group over there, and some big things going to happen, I'm sure.
Okay, that's great. And last night there was a Link for drinks at Rickmansworth, and that went off very well. And it was quite a late evening for some of us, but it wasn't too. It wasn't a case of everyone walking up there completely wrecked. We did actually manage to walk on our own 2 feet last night, unlike sometimes, Chris.
I wasn't even there. What are you talking about at the end? I went early.
Okay, and we also last week we previewed Link for Business, didn't we, Chris? It's launched in London, and there were 2 Link for Business events. Which the first was run by Deepak, the second was run by you. I know you were at both of them. So perhaps you could have a quick chat about it.
Yeah, so Link for Business, it's all about creating a local community of business people, something that we don't actually have in this country. We have things like chambers of commerce, but it's not quite the same. This is about small businesses, micro businesses coming together in a club and supporting each other and helping each other to also do things in the community, and make everyone aware that they exist, so that the local people start using our local businesses, which keeps more money in the local economy, which would be great news. So we launched in Ruislip this week. Great meeting down there. Very well received. Some new members joining Link for Business, which was fantastic, and very well received. So I think we're getting close to getting the message absolutely spot on. And I was in Marylebone today, doing exactly the same thing. But unfortunately, Deepa couldn't make it today. She had to go off to the clinic and get some tests done pretty urgently. But so I covered it for her today, and again another fabulous event, and such interesting conversations at these things, but slightly different format. It's a bit more structured, but still very friendly, and loads of opportunity to network. So good stuff, really.
Well, that's great news. But you've also been blogging. First of all, you've blogged about the gatehouse to Canterbury Park, which featured on last week's show.
Yeah, the Canterbury Park gates. Yeah, so that one out this week. All the details of the gates. They've done some phenomenal work on this since February. If this hadn't been a passion with people who are absolutely passionate about what they're doing, it could have taken 3 years to get as far as they've got. But they've done all of this in about 8 months, which is something just short of remarkable, I think. So that went up this week, and also the post on the Watford Christmas market. The German market. It seems like we've had a mad rush of sanity, and they've decided to put an extension to the German market the other side of where the normal market is going to be relocated. So we're going to have one massive market from the pond all the way down to where the high street joins Clarendon Road. So it's going to be a massive, basically huge market. Part of it German and part of it traditional English. So that's all good news.
It sounds really exciting. Okay. Chris, whilst you go off and find Harry, I presume he's upstairs in Attica, we'll talk to Tania about some of the local news, and then when you're ready, we'll come back to you. Okay?
Okay, no problem. I'll be about 2 or 3 minutes only, so I'll catch up with you in a minute, yeah?
Right, okay. Tania, in your intro, you mentioned better buildings for Watford and brighter buildings for Watford.
That's right, absolutely, Diane. I really love architecture, so I'm really, really pleased about this. Every year we have a Future Buildings Award. This year it's being in Hertfordshire, throughout Hertfordshire. This year it's being sponsored by Warner Brothers Leavesden, and they've actually been a recipient of their Retrofit Award for their expansion of the former Rolls-Royce factory in the past. So this Building Futures initiative was set up a decade ago, 10 years ago, to support planning departments and the private sector in building and sustaining building designs and sustainable building. So in the past, as I say, we've had Leavesden Studios being award winners, and we've had Bushy Academy, and a really brilliant, the Design Excellence and in Boundary Way Estate won the Outstanding Commitment to Adapt for a Changing Climate Award. We do have some fantastic buildings around, and it's really great that we're celebrating them. So the projects completed in the county between September the 16th, 2013 and September the 16th, 2015 can all enter these awards, and the ceremony, the closing date is November the 13th, so get in there quick. And the ceremony will be in March 2016. So some great stuff going on there.
Yeah, and the other thing you mentioned at the beginning was the fact that you can now boil your kettle.
Yeah, you can. You can boil your kettle up and make it into something else. Well, actually, I'm not entirely sure that you can do that. I wouldn't know how, but yeah, they're collecting old kettles and old laptops and old computer consoles and all of that sort of thing, even recycling CDs, videos and DVDs, mobile phones and tablets. All of your old electrical items you can now take to a new recycling drop-off point. And the drop-off point is up here by Central Watford Library, in the lay-by next to the Central Watford Library. There's some new bins up there, really big, large bins, so really great stuff. And they'll boil them up to create new games consoles and new items of electrical equipment. So really, really great. Your old hairdryers and consoles, all of that stuff that would otherwise go into landfill. Really, really damaging in landfill stuff. So now there's a new way that we can recycle all of that stuff and stop the landfill. Really great for green stuff, green changes.
Recycling and the green agenda. And
yes, that's it.
Yeah, and obviously if you can recycle plastics, that's a good thing.
Yeah, there's apparently 1 million tonnes of electrical and electronic waste generated every year. Surely we've got to stop all of that waste just being dug into the ground. Can't be good for us.
Yeah. So was it just in, is that 1 million tonnes just in Watford, or is it nationally?
As far as I know, it's just a thing that's happening in Watford. But I guess that if the technology is there, it will be happening nationally. So it will be rolled out across the country, I'm guessing. But I don't know for sure, Diane.
Okay, that's right. And talking of kind of like green bits and stuff like that, the Hertsmere Council are urging residents to call a free helpline.
They are, and it's brilliant. It's so important, especially at this time of year going into Christmas, that people get all of the help that they can so that they can keep themselves happy, healthy and secure during the winter months. And heat is such an important element of that. So the Home Heat Helpline is free. It's impartial and it's absolutely confidential. It provides advice on rebates, grants for insulation and new boilers, and tips on energy saving, because some of the things are remarkably simple and you don't need actually very much help to do these things. People in Hertsmere could benefit, but many don't realise what support is available. So this really fabulous helpline is helping people to understand what support's available to them to keep the heat in. So insulating the walls, it's something that I did in my last home. Insulating the walls is the best way to keep energy in the home, to keep the heating in there. Cavity wall insulation, if you haven't got it, it can save you £160 per year on your bills. So really, really great thing to do. You don't have to do an awful lot. The council will help cover the costs. In fact, when I had it done, it was just 15 quid. £55 to have my home in that way. They'll also help with advice about insulating your roof, which can save a quarter of your home's heating costs. Replacing old bulbs with new bulbs that are much more energy efficient. So the ones that are best, they can advise you on and how to change them in your home. They last 12 times longer. All of the new energy efficient bulbs last 12 times longer, and each bulb can save you £78. So really brilliant. And turning your thermostat down, now you know me, I don't like the cold, so putting on an extra jumper is something that I'm quite often doing. But turning your thermostat down by just 1% can save you 10% in heating costs. So all of these things, the Energy Home Heat Helpline will help people to talk through and understand so that they can make a really great informed choice about what they want to do to cut their heating bills and still stay safe this winter.
Okay, that's great. And in the earlier on in the summer, we talked a lot about garden waste collections in Three Rivers, and they've now sent this process out for consultation, and you can submit a response via SurveyMonkey. That's right, you can submit your response exactly as you say by SurveyMonkey. They're basically looking at that they don't have to collect garden waste. The council is not obliged to collect our garden waste. So they're looking at ways of clearly cutting costs and ways of which they can move this idea forward. So they're looking at maybe not collecting council waste or charging you for the collections, all of that sorts of thing. So if you want to have your say, then go to it's a bit of a to the council's consultations page, threerivers.gov.uk. We'll put the link in afterwards and have your say, because it might be up to £95 per household increase if that's the way that it goes. Personally, I'd go for composting. If you've got garden waste, get a compost box, and then you won't need the council to collect it for you. Yeah. It's an idea. It's a great idea, and I don't think perhaps we do enough of it in this country. The other thing is, with in consultations, that's about the only thing that's in common with the previous story, and we did mention this earlier on in August, is Watford Council are encouraging people to have a say in the proposed ward boundary changes.
That's right, they are. I mean, this all seems a bit like fiddling while Rome burns or something like that to me. But they move the edges of the boundaries, and they're trying to make it more even, and encouraging people who live in the area to have their say about these ward boundary changes. Under the Commission's proposals, there's some quite odd changes going on, and one of them would create a ward that was in the shape of a figure of 8, the Starborough ward from Meriden, the changes there. And the council have discussed it this week, and they've decided that some of those changes are a bit nonsensical, so they're going to go back and look at those again. So the changes are proposed, as far as I can see, to most of the Watford Borough Council areas. And Dorothy says, although most of the changes may be relatively minor, it's worth going online and seeing if they'll affect you. It's worth having your say. It's easy to do.
Yeah, and of course, it's not Dorothy who determines all this, it's the Electoral Commission for England and Wales. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Exactly. So go and tell the government what you think of their boundary changes. Why not?
Okay, and on a more positive note, there's a new business, so that's always a more positive note than most things. There's a new cafe in Radlett just opened up.
There is, and it's got a fantastic name, brilliant name. It's called Daisies in the Park. How fab is that? How very, very appropriate. Yep, it opened its doors to the public in Radlett. It's on the Watling Street, and what's really great about this is it's the council using their property much, much better. So this is going to be a revenue generating aspect of the council's business. Now the council owns all of these properties, but generally they're either empty or they're half used, or they're used by things that take costs out of the council's budget. This is the council being really, really innovative, and it's the site of a disused public toilet. It's been designed and built by Herts Borough Council as a revenue generating asset. So that's going to go to help to fund all of the social care budget. I mean, it'll be a tiny drop in the ocean, but it'll help to fund the other budgets that the Borough Council needs to fund. And it's a great new way for the council to use its resources in a much, much more positive way, rather than just selling it off and then losing what is often called the family silver. This is a really good way to make it pay its way. Brilliant.
Okay, and very briefly, finally, 2 weeks today is Halloween, and there's something happening in the park.
There is something happening in the park, and it's going to be creepy down there. Down at Castleberry Park, it's an eerie, creepy event. So residents of Watford aged 6 and over now, on Friday night, the 30th of October, can go down to the park and cast their spells and solve mysteries. It's going to be a chilling event. It sounds like it's going to be great fun, actually. It'll recreate stories of the ghosts of old that are said to wander the park, the headless man, and all of that sort of thing that are said to wander in Castleberry Park. So it'll recreate those stories. £20 for a team of 4, so that's 4 people, £20, and it's running in conjunction with the Castleberry Park Heritage Lottery Fund. It's going to be great. Team of 4, there's heaps going on, and I think I read that there was going to be, I'm not going to say that because I can't see it now, but yeah, some really innovative use of our council park there. Brilliant, brilliant ideas. Take the kids down and have a great time for Halloween.
Okay, that's great. And Chris, are you ready to interview Harry at Attico?
Yeah, I am. I'm just going to do a little bit of a chat here because I just want people to see where I am actually in the high street. So if you have a quick look around here, you can see some of the recognisable signs of where I am. And there's this little alleyway here, and it's a little alleyway leading to Attico coffee shop, and it's a sort of art gallery as well. And actually, the man in front of me here is Harry. And are we going to go up, Harry, and do the interview upstairs so people get a chance to see a bit more of the place?
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Chris, by the way.
Chris
Ogle.
Oh, I've heard about you.
Yeah.
Someone told me you might pop in.
Yeah. So here we go, up the stairs.
Someone's coming to me. This goes online.
So this is quite. I mean, I haven't actually been up here. It's quite a big space, isn't it? I mean, it's.
Welcome to our humble abode. Yeah, it's actually a big space, and you would never believe this place was actually William Hill Bookies.
William Hill Bookies.
Yeah.
This many people came in placing bets.
People came in placing bets.
So
losing money.
Let's go and stand over here a little bit. So tell me, what was the inspiration for this place? What made you sort of start this?
The inspiration for this place was that man that you saw coming up here. He's the brainchild. Basically, he's a paintings salesman.
Okay.
He's travelled England wide.
Right.
And selling oil paintings.
So selling paintings for other people?
Selling paintings for himself, buying from artists and selling for himself.
Okay.
But one day he decided, about a year ago, I've been doing this too long. I need to stop and relax. So hence this place came out of that. He needed to stop travelling around the country. So and then I was best friend for many years. So he said, Harry, come on board, help me do this. So that's what we started, this art gallery, and it's turning into much more than an art gallery. It's actually an art gallery plus cafe, vegetarian cafe, vegan cafe.
So that's over there,
run by our beautiful Rachel Diamond.
Right.
And we have a very beautiful bar. And we have salsa evenings, tango evenings, so it's turned into more than an art gallery.
And you've got a comedy night coming up at the end of the month as well, with local comedy club, Yellow Comedy.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. I've never seen the act, but the guy came in there the other day and he was like full of beans. He's fired up and said, come on man, we need some of this, we need...
Andy Carberry,
I said, we need some laughter in Attico. Because it's a nice place, but if it's sombre, so it'll be nice to get a bit of...
and all these paintings that you've got around here, where are they from? Who paints these? Are they local artists?
A lot of these are local artists. We have a really good artist called Paresh. He's actually local. I think he's in Radlett. And, he does the most amazing, colourful paintings.
Yeah.
And so we've been selling his paintings. They're very expensive, but people are buying them. And also we've got people from all over England, really. And also we have some wall-covered paintings, which means that some of them are just churned out a little bit. So more wall coverings, you'll see. But they sell. But the most of it, for the good part, are all good local artists.
And when did all this start? I mean, you haven't been open that long, because I sort of heard rumours back in March time, somewhere around there. You haven't been open that long, have you?
No, we've been open since April 4th is when we opened officially. The mayor of Watford, I could never remember her name.
Dorothy?
Yeah, Dorothy.
You're not the only one that can't remember her name, I think.
But she's a lovely woman, right? And she said she came in and then and she really bigged us up and said and she gave us her blessings. Yeah, so we haven't looked back since.
Blessings from a lady there, the Baroness actually. She's now Baroness.
Is she?
Yeah,
there you go. Didn't know that. We have to invite. What's her name?
Baroness Dorothy.
We have to get her back in. But she was great. She was such a laugh and so down to earth and supportive of a local enterprise who are struggling to get noticed and stuff. We're down an alleyway, as you notice, so it's hard for people to see us.
Yeah.
So we're constantly putting signs out, candles, fire, people doing acrobats. I'm just kidding.
So I mean, it's a great space. You've got art here, you've got a coffee shop. People can just drop in and have a coffee, no obligation to buy anything. They can just come up here and...
A little bit, I'm just kidding. No, you just come in, chill out. We've got free Wi-Fi, you can chill out, you can just buy one cup of coffee. Students do it all the time, they buy one cup of coffee and stay here all day and do their own work or something. And because it's such a big place, we don't mind. We need people. And also we have you want to have a look in the back?
Yeah, what you got in the back then?
It's a cinema.
Really?
Yeah. It's doubled up as a cinema, a yoga room.
Wow, look at this.
Kind of chilled out space, you know. So what we do in the evenings, we clear the space, and then we get yoga teachers come in, do their yoga, teach their yoga. We have pranic healing sessions. We have meditation sessions, palmistry sessions. So as you can see, it's a very chilled atmosphere.
Yeah, no one knows this, do they? Well,
we're open that you can spread the word for us.
Well, this is what I'm doing.
That wall there actually is it's a screen. So if you come closer,
yeah.
If you look up there, we've been, given good advice. That actually, we have a screen there, and then actually that black up there makes the picture really clear. So we do a lot of black and white movies.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. Any movie over 70 years is free. No
yeah.
So we have hundreds of them. So we have like a cinema club once a week. Yeah.
Ah, what nights?
No, actually not once a week. A few times a week. I don't run that. That's Andrew. But Monday, Wednesday, and I think it's Friday.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And what are they in the evening? Are they? So this is open. This is open quite often. Quite a lot of the day then.
Yeah, I'm here most of the time. I've just calculated. I'm on about £1 an hour.
Join the club.
I don't make any money doing this, but I enjoy it. It's lovely. It's great.
It's a fab atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I saw that dog out there. What is that? Is that dog basically a gearbox or something out the front? A blue dog?
Yes, it's made
or a
by
transmission shaft or something?
Yeah, you're right. It's car parts. I'm
Yeah.
not a mechanic, but the guy is a mechanic and a welder turned artist.
Amazing.
So he goes to the scrapyard, gets bits and pieces, puts them together, and makes stuff. Let me show you this. Have you seen this? It's a big fish in the corner.
Chris,
Yeah, this is Aladdin's den. This, I tell you.
Chris, it's very, very dark there. We can't see anything.
Yeah, and that's made from bits of car parts and stuff. That part there, look.
I do hear you, Diana. It's just I'm looking.
Yeah, see that?
Amazing. Yeah, it's dark in here, so we'll go back into the other room.
That's just fine.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah. So we're going to go back in the other room, Diana, as you've requested. Yeah.
Have you seen the source, Christian?
What? Sorry.
Yes. That's all car parts.
That's all. This is all car parts as well. Look at the, quite amazing, isn't it? Really.
It took 10 men to carry up the stairs.
That's quite heavy, isn't it? That's not going anywhere.
No, that's Anna. She's an amazing part of the gallery. Beautiful, as you can see.
You do well here, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank you ever so much for showing us around. I mean, it's a really, as you can see, guys, it's a really nice space.
Please come tomorrow. We have an open mic night tomorrow.
Do you?
Yeah, and a band called Obus. I think they're from Watford. They're going to be MC. Well, hosting it.
Right,
I'm the
okay.
MC, but they're going to be hosting it. And Obus. Check them out.
So people can come up here and just grab the mic and
grab the mic and just sing away.
You haven't heard me sing. I'm not doing anything
Really?
of the sort. No.
Well, we need a bit of comedy, so come and sing for us.
Yeah, there's a comedy night at the end of the month. Maybe that.
Cool. Thanks for coming in, man.
No, well,
yeah. Can we offer you a cup of tea, coffee, or anything?
Not just now.
Okay.
They got me on this show doing
Yeah.
hard work.
Okay.
You know, but anyway, look at that amazing space. Come up here and try this, some peeps, because it's really good. Thank you for talking to us.
You're
and I'll
welcome.
see you soon.
Where can I see this stuff?
Actually, back to the studio, Diane, while I handle this inquiry.
Just what I can say. Okay. The other special guest we have on this week is Fiona Flaherty. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Fiona is launching a new Link for Growth TV show the week after next. It's all to do with public health and how public health is not just the NHS, it's a whole range of other institutions. Fiona has been connected with Link for Growth for quite a while. She does a lot of work with Jane Walker in North East London, who we interviewed in May this year. So, Fiona, it's your turn, and welcome to the show. And tell us about this new TV show.
Lovely, thank you. The idea behind the show is that public health is getting a bit of a bash in the media, particularly in the news. It's all about austerity and cuts. And for most of us in the public, we really don't understand what it means and the implications. So it's more than individual health and the NHS. It's everything. It's where our food comes from, who cleans our streets, how the water gets into our houses, transportation, lighting. It's absolutely enormous. But my starting point very much is what's happening to us as individuals. How are the budgets set? How do we get our services? So that's the idea behind the show.
Okay, that sounds great. And So the structure of the show. I mean, we've talked about it, in other forums and stuff like that. Perhaps you could explain a little bit about how you intend to structure the show and the format it's going to take.
The format, I'm really using my expertise. I've been in healthcare a long time, well over 38 years, and I've done public health for more than 25. So I'm reaching out. I've managed to secure interviews with directors of public health, directors regarding commissioning. I've got into hospitals, I've got into Thames Water, and I'm actually interviewing the people who are making decisions about how our lives are run and what our facilities are. It's a national TV show, so whilst I'm based in London, it's a fairly big representation of what is happening nationwide. So will be the model for everything we pick up here. I'll ask you to go and look in your area and find out whether or not it is or isn't happening.
Okay, that's great. Because you say Director of Public Health. I mean, that's kind of like one of these grandiose titles, but they actually wear many hats, don't they?
They wear many hats. Their accountability is to Public Health England, and they manage budgets that are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And one of the surprising things is that public health isn't so much about sort of vaccines and keeping us fairly safe, but they get involved in housing, in rebuilding, in green spaces, which is quite surprising to me that they had such a wide remit. So in interviewing them, it's their opportunity to tell us what is happening, what are the challenges, how we as the public can get involved. And then on the other side of the coin, I've been to talk to Citizen UK, to Health Watch. So there are spies in the camp. They're out to make sure that these regulatory bodies deliver. And as a member of the public, again, you can actually have quite a big voice on services before they're implemented and to get the changes, rather than sit back and wait until it all goes wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, it is a pretty all-encompassing area, isn't it? I mean, it affects every area of everyone's life. I mean, it's often hidden from view.
It's hidden from view because, like most large organisations, they tend not to do collaboration. So I've been fortunate in getting to talk to them, and from one organisation to the next, I'm getting great links because they're really quite keen to showcase their expertise and what does work, as opposed to what doesn't work, which is how the media portray it. We'll be running the show every other week. We're going to run it on a Tuesday at lunchtime, so it'll be the second and the last Tuesday of each month. And it's going to be fairly topical, so that when we talk to public health, we'll be asking what their challenges are. When we're talking to community pharmacy, we'll be asking them not only about flu vaccines and how many and how much it costs, but I'd quite like to know what happens to the prescriptions and what's their links with the pharmaceutical industry. I wear many caps, and having worked both in a clinical setting and for the pharmaceutical industry, and having taught, there isn't too much they can get past us that we won't be believed.
Okay, and what you're going to do, I know from the first few shows, is almost feature, there's going to be an overview explaining what public health is, and then after that you're then going to talk to specialisms in the public health sector, aren't you? So be they pharmacist, director of public health, and so on and so forth.
Yes, that's right. And we'd like people to get involved. Our shows won't be live, but we'd like you to get involved. And at the end of each show, we'll ask you for feedback, questions you would have liked asked. So I will actually be going back to the interviewees and saying, these are some of the issues that weren't addressed, so would you like to address them? So that we can either put it into a podcast or a transcript. And it's about asking those important questions. And as Link for Growth is growing phenomenally, it's the opportunity for everybody to get involved. So we'll be putting up week on week who we'll be interviewing. So if you've got a burning question for a community dentist, ask us. Ask us why the charges are so high, because they're one of the questions that we'll be asking.
Yeah, and how can they get in touch with you if they've got questions or ideas for the show?
Through Twitter, which is the best, which will be at Meducate Health, but you'll always find me on Fiona Flaherty. I am the only one, so you're desperately going to find me there. And I quite like people to get actively involved, because we don't want it to be prescriptive. if you don't ask these questions, you will not get the opportunity to find out. What I've found so far from interviewing is the people who hold the budget are really quite keen to talk to us all. They want us to know, because we're not journalists. It's not a scripted copy. They can actually be fairly free with the content of what they want to tell us, which is brilliant. And then one of the issues we're going to be talking about in particular will be antibiotics. It's making so much news. So we want to talk about antibiotics and bacteria that don't respond to them, because it's a huge strain in terms of on the NHS if it can't prescribe certain types of drugs. And one of the biggest costs to the NHS is the cost of antibiotics.
Okay, that's great. And brief reminder, the first show is on October the 27th, which is Tuesday week.
Yes, which is a half term, and we would very much like you to connect with us on Twitter at Meducate Health. So even now, if there are any questions or anybody that you would like in terms of responsibility interviewed, just let us know. If you want us to talk to the chair of the association, we're more than happy. We have contacted our local MPs and councillor in the borough in which I live, and I think they'd be very happy to talk to us, because we are going to talk about things like transport, travel and Mini Holland. So they'd like to showcase some of the changes that they're making in the borough where I am, which is in London.
Okay, that's great. And good luck with the show, and I'm sure we will look forward to seeing it shortly.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
That's okay. It's a pleasure. Okay, well, we're still unable to get hold of Neal. He's still suffering a few technical problems. So I'm going to have to do the sport. So first of all, of course, Watford didn't play last week, but there's a big game this week. It's a televised game at 5:30 on Sky Sports, and they're playing Arsenal. Well, for those who don't know, Arsenal are one of the biggest teams in the country. They are one of the teams that people expect will tip to win the league title at the end of the season. So, it's the first time that Watford played a big team at home. They did play Manchester City earlier on in the season where they lost 2-0 away. But the good news for Watford is that most of their injury troubles are now recovered. Gerardo, their creative midfielder, is still out with an injury, but the other Watford players who were in doubt, that's Ichi Anya, the Scottish winger, Alan Naimon and Bahami are all expected to be fit. So hopefully Watford will put out a nearly full-strength side to face what is usually a very good Arsenal team. The other thing is that he's been Quiche Sanchez Flores has been talking about a few of the Watford players, and he's been saying that it actually takes them quite a long time to adapt, especially if they come from abroad, to the standards and the kind of play that takes place in the in the English Premier League. So it's not just a case of being able to kick the ball well, it's also a case of being able to think well and think clearly. And coincidentally, in the past week or so, the Watford captain, Troy Deeney, has also spoken about the need for footballers to be able to go and feel free and able to go and speak to people like psychologists and psychotherapists and everything to improve their mental balance in terms of their team performance and everything. Well, that actually happens at Tania, who, as you know, contributes regularly to this show, is also is a psychotherapist and psychologist, and so she does lots of work. Now, you don't work with footballers or sports people per se, do you, Tania? But many of the rules that apply to, as it were, real life are, as it were, brought into even sharper focus in the heat of a stadium.
That's absolutely right, Diane, and I do sometimes work with footballers, and particularly golfers are quite often people that come across my threshold. One this particular week found some great inspiration from just learning about how his mind works when he's on the golf course, and therefore how it works when he's not on the golf course. Depression, stress, anxiety, all of that sort of thing can be really big challenges for people wherever they are. This is a job. You know, this is their profession. Very often people going into these professions are really quite young, and they don't have a lifetime of skills behind them to help them to manage some quite adrenaline-fueled situations, and to know how to manage the adrenaline and how to manage what happens after adrenaline, and how to manage what they think themselves about what all of the pundits are saying. So understanding what happens in your mind can be a really, really helpful thing to do to whatever your profession, but in particular in these areas where there's lots and lots of public scrutiny about their performance. Performance anxiety is a huge problem for people that are scrutinised in that sort of way.
Well, I hope when their handicap goes down, you're suitably rewarded.
My reward is in seeing people being able to turn their lives around. So that's brilliant when that happens. But yeah, the reward is all in the mind.
Okay, that's great. And I know you've also been talking about an act of kindness, and one of the Watford players is talking about how he turned down a lucrative offer from China. This is Odin Igilalu, sorry, who's one of Watford's strikers and their leading striker, and he's talking about how he opens up and gives some money away each month. Yeah, he's saying that his conscience won't allow it, and he remembers what it's like not to have anything, which actually kind of links into a theme that you've been running, isn't it, this week with your Kindness Club on Mondays?
That's right, Kindness Project at Reason Coffee Shop and Bookshop on Mondays, the second Monday of the month, everyone, from 6:30 p.m. And actually we're getting Chris there, I think. Hello, Chris. Put him down, maybe. So we're running these kindness projects just to share kindness, because the way that people think about themselves and think about kindness and think about the way that they're engaging with kind things can really help improve your self-esteem, the way that you're feeling about yourself, and the way that you're engaging with the world. So it's a really great thing to do, and the way that you process information in relation to kindness can really help out. So yeah, that footballer's great idea really needs to be, and it's infectious. So not only is his money making, but happier stance in relation to the world will make people happier too. So it's great. It's infectious. Come along and join us once a month. Talk about kindness. Share it. Get infected.
Okay, well that's really good. The other thing is, talking of football, Kings Langley beat L3 United 1-0 last week, so they're now in the playoff positions in the league. They scored fairly early, scored after 45 minutes, and tomorrow they're away at Hanwell Town, 3 o'clock kickoff, so obviously they're going to be playing away, but if you're a Kings Langley fan, I'm sure you're probably going off that way to see what they're doing and how they're performing. I am having a few technical gremlins at this end, but you know, that's the way this show goes sometimes. Okay, I was going to say, Chris, you're in Reason. I can see you waving at me. And I've just muted you. I'll unmute you. Chris, can you unmute yourself? No, you can't. So I don't know what's happened there.
No, I can. I just have.
Good.
And I am in Reason. You're quite right. I'm in the coffee and just being served a flat white as well, which is very delightful.
Good. Good. Okay. Well, we've done the sport and everything, so we're going to move on now and talk about the charity events. So, Catherine.
Hello. I was just going to add also to what Tania was talking about, the Kindness Project in the beautiful Reason Coffee Shop, of course. I was there on Monday, and it was a fantastic evening. It was 2 hours filled with stories about good stuff and sharing things, and you know, those that had planned to be there, and also those that had planned just to go in for a coffee also joined in. It was a fabulous evening, so we're looking forward to the next one. Moving on, we've got a jobs fair coming up in Watford. This is going to be held on Wednesday, November the 11th, so time to start thinking ahead about CVs. If you go armed with a fistful of CVs, there'll be opportunities to talk to lots of local, national companies. This is being held at Watford Coliseum, Wednesday, November the 11th, and it'll be between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. As I say, it's a great opportunity to spread a few CVs around and talk to people face to face about what it is that they're looking for. Maybe you're the person.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday I was out and about over on the other side of the county, and I noticed all the apples were out and about and blooming on the trees.
Yes, well, most of our apples are falling on the lawn at the moment, but yes, it's absolutely apple time. So Abbots Langley are having an apple fest, which is a fantastic opportunity to get together as a community and talk about foods, local food sustainability, and the local markets as well. They're having a fantastic looking day on Sunday the 18th of October. This will be at School Mead in Abbots Langley from 11 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. There's going to be apple bobbing, food to buy and taste, I'm guessing possibly with an apple theme to them. There's a petting zoo, there's a Punch and Judy, there's live music, lots and lots of family fun. And I know they've got a project on the go at the moment where they're encouraging everybody in the local community, in the village, to plant a fruit tree in their front garden. And the idea is that over the years, as the trees grow, they'll all be able to share each other's fruit. So it's a lovely idea.
Yeah, exactly. And Tania talked about Halloween and dressing up and you know, taking part in creepy events in Canterbury Park. But if you're so minded, you can actually do it this evening, can't you?
Yes, absolutely. This evening, 8 o'clock, £15. Go along to Watersmeet. They're showing the original Rocky Horror Picture Show. Anybody that remembers it from the mid-70s will remember that it's a horror fest, but with a touch of poignancy, a touch of humour about it as well. It's a fantastic performance of some old favourites, Tim Curry as Frankenfurter, Susan Sarandon, Richard O'Brien, and Meatloaf, of course. So this is at Watersmeet. It's at 8 o'clock this evening. Go along, have a ball, take a group of people and have a party for the evening. It's a fantastic thing. You have to be over 12 to go, but yeah, it looks like a lovely evening.
Okay, that's absolutely great. And it's exhibition time and into. At the moment, they're showing the Watford and Bushy Art Society event, paint exhibition, autumn exhibition, until Sunday this week. And I've been along, seen some of the paintings, and they're very good. And next week is Watford Camera Club's turn.
That's right, yeah, Watford Camera Club. This is in the upper gallery at Into. If you've never been there, just keep going up until you can't go any further. It becomes obvious where it is. Yeah, from Saturday, October the 24th. Yes, looking forward to showing the annual photographic exhibition. Councillor Karine Hastrick, Chairman of Watford Borough Council, will be opening the exhibition on Saturday, October the 24th at 2:30 in the afternoon. So after that, it's all open to the public. Go along, it's free.
Okay, that sounds absolutely fabulous. And if you're actually after something of a, how can we put it, a more quizzing nature?
Yes, quite. Something taxing for the brain, absolutely. This is a brain box quiz night, raising money for the Michael Sobel Hospice on the 21st of October, which is a Wednesday, 7:30 in the evening. This is an event that's going to be held at Mount Vernon Hospital in Northwood. I'll post up the details afterwards, so you've got the link. Tickets are £16. It's their annual quiz night, maximum 8 members per team, so start gathering your team together. There will be a licensed bar, so it looks like a fun-filled night and raising money, obviously, for a fantastic cause.
Okay, and Cancer Research UK have an autumn fair coming up.
Absolutely, it's autumn everywhere, isn't it? They've got a lovely flyer, actually, which is all very autumnal colours. They're having their autumn fair on Saturday, 17th of November. This is at Sarrett Village Hall, which is the middle of Sarrett. You can't miss it. 10:30 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. So it's a chance to start buying for Christmas. There'll be charity Christmas cards, toys, candles, books, jewellery. There'll be lots of things to eat and drink as well. £2.50 admission. Children are free. All proceeds going to Cancer Research UK.
And something that's close to your heart, we know, is diabetes, because you're a trustee of one of the local diabetes charities, and a 10-year-old girl is been inspired by to raise money for diabetes.
Yeah, it's a 10-year-old girl has been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and obviously that's quite a shock to her, to the family, and it's something very new, very challenging to have to deal with. So the father of the daughter, David Hewins, decided to gather some work colleagues together. He's a project manager at Vinci Construction UK in Imperial Way. He's got some of his colleagues together, and they decided to challenge themselves with walking. I'll tell you where they were walking. It was in the Lake District, up and over 42 summits across the Lake District, and they set themselves a target of doing it in just 36 hours. Altogether, they've raised so far nearly £4,000, and they're donating the money to Diabetes UK, who obviously do a great deal of good in raising awareness and also research about both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So well done to everybody. I think their Just Giving page is still up, so you can still donate if you wish to. It's fantastic.
Agreed. And then that's about it for the charity news this week. But of course, you're coming back with the restaurant review, aren't you?
I was just going to have one little mention. If you haven't been along to Eat Fit yet, there is still the rest of our course, the Eat Fit course, which is running at Watford Central Leisure Centre, which is the Everyone Active Leisure Centre. This is sponsored by Watford Council, very kindly. They've given us the room, they're free of charge. It's all about healthy eating, fitness, changing your lifestyle, changing your habits. We've had the first 2 sessions, which were fantastic, but if you want to come along, do come along. It's just £10 a week, Wednesday evening, 7:30 at Everyone Active. Love to see you there.
How many more sessions are there, Catherine?
There's another 6 weeks to go. We finish, I think it's the week just before the end of November, so 6 sessions still to go.
Okay, great. And it's good that you're trying to get so many people involved on that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's really good. And at the moment, of course, we've got a busy week of Link for Growth events coming up. Starting tonight with Yellow Comedy at Reasons. Doors open at 7:30. The comedy starts at 8. They're usually very, very funny evenings with some really outstanding acts. I'm not quite sure what tonight's lineup is, but they're usually, as I said, usually very good, very funny. And because there are 8 acts or 7 acts on, you can usually find 2 or 3 of them appeal to your sense of humour. Tomorrow morning there's Link for Coffee down at the market as usual. You get the opportunity to speak to Chris about Link for Growth, and if you want to find out more about what Link for Growth is and how it can help you, then please go along and see Chris. He'll be in the food hall area of the market, which is upstairs. And as I said, sometimes 2 or 3 people turn up, sometimes no one turns up, but it gives everyone the opportunity to come along and have a one-to-one chat or one-to-several people chat about what Link for Growth is and find out more about what it does and what it's all about. Then on Sunday, there's a Link for Growth breakfast at the Junction Cafe starting at 10 o'clock, and this is a full English breakfast with all the works, all the trimmings, everything else. I was trying to bring Chris in there because I know he likes English breakfast, but the problem is he's muted at the moment for some reason. So I will move on then and talk about...
You muted me, I think. That was what the problem was. You're obviously talking too much, aren't I? You're trying to get rid of me. But anyway, yes, it's a fabulous breakfast there. I'll be there. And last week I deviated from my usual full English breakfast and had a couple of eggs on toast, which I haven't had for some decades, I think, and it was very delightful. So if you want to come down there and have a Sunday breakfast, then please do join me. All very good fun.
Okay, that sounds really good. And on Monday, to perhaps help get your weekend off to a buzzy start and a great start, there's Link for Coffee at Ocean Bells on the High Street. That's between 10 and 11:30. Again, that's a venue that we've been using for a long time now. The lemon drizzle cake is very good, I'm told. I'd never eat it there, but Chris, who seems to have a passion for lemon drizzle cake.
This is complete fabrication. I don't know. Everybody will think I'm a suspect for diabetes with the amount of cake I eat. But actually, I don't really like cake, to be absolutely honest with you. I've just suddenly been crowned like red lemon drizzle hero or something. Anyway.
And I do, and the lemon drizzle at Ocean Bells, I haven't tried at the kitchen, but Ocean was the last time I had it. Delightful.
So we've now got lemon drizzle wars. I've got it.
Yeah, well, I think actually, Chris, what we ought to do is make a cape for you that is sort of like bright yellow with an LD on the chest sort of thing.
Well, I'm up for that, as long as someone helps me eat it.
Lemon drizzle man. Okay, but the other reason why I got Chris back in is to talk about the online mentoring groups, because we've got 2 of those starting on Tuesday this week. Chris, perhaps you could tell us a bit more about it.
Well, it's not 2 starting this week, actually. It's one pilot that we'll be starting, that's happening on Tuesday morning, but I haven't actually publicised it yet, so actually it might be the following Tuesday morning, but definitely a week Wednesday I'll be running a pilot in the evening, and one of the Tuesdays, either this week or next week, will be another pilot which will be on Tuesday morning, so that'll be like 9:30 till 12:15 or something, and the evening one will be 7 till 9:45 or something like that. So it's just a chance to experience what a online mentoring group is like, the peer-to-peer support that you can gain. I know that Tania was on one of them, and they just work basically. So the idea of an online mentoring group is to help people who really want to move their business forward. A lot of people don't realise that by increasing the business that they get, that actually might cause themselves more problems because they can't actually deliver it. So growing a business is about doing it in a way which is sustainable, where you can continue to deliver good service, you don't overtrade effectively and cause even more problems for yourself. So it's good to get other business people's opinions about what they've done, their experience, the stuff, because we've all got just a whole array of things that we know about, that we've collected, if you like, skills we've collected during our lives, and people look at things in a different way, from a different perspective, and sometimes that just blows people away, and it's like they can go away and they can really drive forward in whatever they're trying to do. So they really do work. Okay, that's really good, and I know you're running some of these, and Jem Silverstone, who we interviewed on the show a couple of weeks ago, is running the other ones. So 2 very experienced business people who have successfully run their own businesses in the past and currently doing so, are available to help you overcome your business issues. Yeah, I just want to jump in there and just say that the facilitators of these events are not necessarily business consultants or business gurus. They are the facilitators are there to ensure that the event runs to time and that everyone gets a fair crack of the whip. It helps if those people have got good business background, but it's not essential to run a good group, because it's the peer-to-peer mentoring that's the really important bit, and the diversity of backgrounds that people have. But yeah, so Jeremy and I are going to run the pilots. I'm going to start an online mentoring group in November, so I'm out there looking for 3 to 6 people to join me on the first one that will actually be a functioning online mentoring group. Just got to invent a name for it now.
Okay, well, Catherine, we're going to come to you and talk about the I'm getting my mind from it. We're going to talk about the restaurant review.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've got a posh one for you this week. We were in London at the weekend, and it was Nick's 50th birthday, so we went posh. We went to the Wolseley in London. It was a very interesting, it was a carefully chosen place. If you don't know the area at all, it's St James, it's Piccadilly, and it's 2 doors away from the Ritz. And I read a little story that someone had gone to the Ritz for a meal and had been turned away because they were wearing the wrong clothes. And what they'd done was they come out of the Ritz 2 doors down, went into the Wolseley and had a lovely meal. So it's posh, but it's informal, and I like the sound of that. So we had a celebration meal. The interior is beautifully decorated with marble floors and a very Venetian, Florentine theme with a little bit of Eastern exoticism in there as well. Originally, the building was built for the Wolseley Motors Company in early 1900s. Unfortunately, the Wolseley car didn't sell very well, so I think they shut down 5 years later. It was a Barclays Bank, and now it's a restaurant run by Corbin and King. But the menu is eclectic. There's lots and lots of things to choose from. There's obviously all your lobsters, your steaks, and all that sort of thing as well. But actually, there's some quite straightforward things like a burger. The Wolseley burger is a very popular choice. They're open all day. They do breakfast. They do lunch and dinner. They do afternoon teas. They do private dining. There's a little area upstairs which is separate from the rest of the restaurant, and you can meet the chef and obviously all that malarkey as well. It's a lovely place to go. We also went for brunch the next day at the Delaunay, which is another place also owned by the same people. But it's these little pockets of places that you sort of discover, you happen across, you want to spread the good word about. So if you've got something to celebrate, go along to the Wolseley. I recommend it.
Okay, that sounds absolutely delightful. On that high-end note, it's time to say cheerio. So it's cheerio from me and Catherine.
Cheerio from me. Have a good weekend.
Okay, and Chris?
Yeah, cheerio from Reason Coffee and Book Store.
Okay, I don't know if Fiona is still with us or not, but thank you very much to Fiona for coming on to the show. And finally, Tania.
Thanks very much. Great show. Cheerio. See you soon.
Okay, take care, and we'll be hopefully you'll be joining us all again next week when we try and do it a bit better still, and we'll have an interesting show with more interesting guests about what's happening and news about what's happening here in Watford.